Shalom, this is your girl Sophia, the Emeru Khan Mariam, and I just wanted to tell you guys a story about how some of these subtle energies work and why it's important, like I mentioned in my other video, to really be able to tap into the subtle energies so that you can actually use them. So I would say a few weeks ago, I had posted a video from these two girls, servant warriors. And I didn't know what entity they were channeling. They said it was Jesus. And I was like, let me see if I can figure out what entity this is, if this is really Jesus or whoever. So, I did my investigation. I used my pendulum. And after listening to a few videos, the person they were channeling had asked for, questions. So I submitted a question. And the response that I got back was like, it was not appropriate. And I'm not going to say it wasn't appropriate. It was a non-response. And then their next channeling session the person was extremely angry, whoever it was. Right? And so at that point, I unsubscribed. And I told the entities, whoever out there, whoever's listening, the Most High, that whatever this entity promised these girls, they're going to have to supply it. Because it's not fair to be out here telling people that Jesus is coming and he's going to save you and he's going to rapture you and all of that, and then not doing it. You can't do that. Like, whatever you promise, all of these entities, whatever they promise, they have to supply. And so that was a few weeks ago, right? Since then, a lot of information has come up, and we did the whole walking with Yahweh Shai on his last hurrah and all of this stuff. So a few days ago, a sister was like, I need to talk to these entities, the angels or whatever, and I need them to protect my children. This is a few days ago. And so I was like, yeah, these entities, they need to come in, they need to protect. Well, Sunday morning, Mommy Omega did a energy reading. And in her energy reading, she said that Papa Legba was here and he was changing faces. And so he was in multiple forms and he was here to protect this baby. And this baby was going to be protected at all costs. And I was like, okay, so the baby is going to be protected, right? I hadn't put this all together yet. And then later on that day, I shared a video from a gentleman, Priest Ogun El Ra, and he was saying that we need to start anointing our children to protect them. And I was like, wow, that's a really good idea. I watched that many hours later. And then after that, I saw the video from Perry Stone where he gives you a process for petitioning protection from the angels for your children. He gives you the whole process, a process that nobody was talking about before I started talking about it. So I know that either somebody is watching my videos or what I'm saying is getting into the ley line. Angels are seeing that it's working and they're passing it along to people to do it, because I'm the only one who talked about public posting and the rules of, notification. And Perry Stone actually specifically talked about reminding the Most High of his covenant, which is another thing that I have been talking about all the way back to when I first started making videos talking about covenant and consecrate. And so I can see that the information, even if it's people not necessarily attributing it to me, I don't care about that. What I care about is that people are starting to implement these things in different ways. And so what Perry Stone suggested is a really, really good idea if you want a way to protect your children besides just anointing them. So I just want to follow this path of me telling this Jesus entity they was going to have to do what they promised. Following the path of Jesus to Calvary and to resurrection with the Orthodox. Then having the sister say, we need to protect the children. Then having Mommy Omega come out and say the children are protected in the morning. And then by the evening, the masculine had come out and said, even if the children are protected, here's another way you can make sure. With Priest Ogun talking about anointing the children, and Perry Stone talking about petitioning the angels to chase, not chase the children, but to follow the children. Petitioning your guardian angel to follow your children. Now, none of this would have come about if I wasn't tuned in to the subtle energies. What are some of the subtle energies? Well, one thing I realized is that in another video, Adir Bey was talking about how Jesus is the Christos or the Logos, right? And Sophia is wisdom. And so I have been talking about how the Antichrist spirit and the Jezebel spirit incarnate together. They tag team you. I got the dark side first. Then I realized that the Logos also incarnates with the wisdom. So you have the love and the wisdom also incarnating together. So it makes sense that the Antichrist and the Jezebel incarnated with the Christ and the Sophia. It makes sense. Had I not listened to the subtle energies of the Antichrist and the Jezebel spirit working together, that was a very subtle connection that I could have easily missed. I would not have been able to make this connection of the Christos and the Sophia also incarnating together. And the thing about the Christos and the Sophia energy is that it's really like a magnet. So when you are vibrating on the vibration of the love energy, which they say is the highest vibration, you will draw to you like a magnet, like a moth to a flame, wisdom. Wisdom will be drawn to you. If you're vibrating in divine wisdom, love will be drawn to you. It will be drawn to you. You don't have to do anything. It will just come. And that is a very subtle revelation, because it is very easy to say, I have Jesus, I don't need anything else. Or I have wisdom, I don't need anything else. And that has ended terribly in many stories in the Bible. You need a combination of, you need to get on the vibration of divine love so that the divine wisdom will come to you. You need to get on, and so when you get to that vibration of divine love, you start calling in your divine wisdom. And it's the same thing. When you get to divine wisdom, you start calling in your divine love. And that is how you are able to manifest. You have to use them together. You cannot think, oh, I have love, so I don't need the wisdom. Or I have wisdom, I don't need the love. In order to manifest, you need the yin and the yang. You need the divine spark in both. You can't have one without the other. And so, these are subtle energies. Again, it's very, very subtle. And so I implore people to, look at the subtleness of some of the things that are happening. Don't discount anything that you see. The time that you wake up. Any numbers that come up, go and look at what the angel number for that is and receive the message, because the messages are everywhere. It's just we are way too dense in our thinking to notice the subtle energies, but they are here. And so that's a story I wanted to tell. And this is all because I commanded this Jesus entity to do what he promised. And then Now we see how that Jesus entity would get it done. So shalom, everyone.